Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Shri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Chahastamalakam Chashishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Manya Asmad Gurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvanam Akandam Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Manomaya Koshaha is what we are looking at. We saw in the previous session Tasmat Manaha Tanmana Shodhanam Karyam. The mind has to be purified, and that is the issue which causes all bondages. Therefore, that mind alone is the karanam for all the samsaric dukkha that we are going through. And that's why we have to take care of that very mind. And verse number which one? 180? 180. 140. No, 180. Yeah, 183. Manomayo vapi bhavet paratma before that. So, in the verse number 183, it is mind also cannot be the Atman. That is because every kosha has been denied. The nature of Atman attributed to it, or it exclusively that being considered as the Atman, is what is being refuted here. As already done with Annamaya, Pranamaya. So here Manomaya happy na Atma Bhavati. We read again here, verse number 183. Manomaya napi bhavet paratma Yadyantavatvat parinami bhavat Dukkhatmakatvat vishayavatva heto Drishta hi drishyatmataya na drishtaha. Manomayo napi bhavet paratma yatyantavatvat parinami bhavat dukkhatmagatvat vishayatva heto drashta hi drishyatmatayana drishta. When it is in fifth case, it is karanam. Because of, due to the reason. Atma na bhavet manomaya. Manomaya api paratma na bhavet. Manomaya kosha also cannot be the self. Why it is so? First one he says adyantavatvat, adi antavatvat. Being subject to beginning and an end. We have seen that in the state of sleep, it is not there, the world is not there. And then it comes back after waking up, the world is experienced. That means there is absence felt of the mind in the state of deep sleep. Parinami bhavat. Second reason is, it is subject to being constantly under change. Sankalpa vikalpatmakatvat. Third, dukkhatmakatvat. Because it is that which causes great misery, and Atman by nature is Ananda. Cannot be. Then, Vishayatva hetoho. And also it is that it is subject to be known. It is objectified. And drishta hi drishyatmataya na drishta. This is a very important thing. Because drishta hi drishya atmataya. What did it mean? Drishta is the seer. And seer cannot be ever seen. The ultimate seer is not an object of anything. So here, na drishtaha atma. Atma na drishtaha. Parantu manaha vishayaha. Atmanaha vishayaha. It is the object of awareness. So, drishyatmataya, because being an object of perception, na drishtaha, drishta, na drishtaha bhavati. Drishta na drishtaha. Drishta means drishtru. The seer can never be a drishtaha, seen. So that we have seen in Drisha Viveka also, right? What is the words? Come on, remember. Rupam drishyam lochanam drik tat drishyam draktumanasam divrittaya sakshi atma drishta anadrishyate. So, just like the Vishayas or objects are seen, colors are seen by the eyes are known to the mind. Vrittis of the mind is also known by the Atman, but Atman is not a seen object to anyone. Drivishaya sakshi drigeva natu drishyate. Drik means drishta. Drishta eva drikeva natu drishyate. Now going to the Bhashya here, Manomaya iti paratma paramatma na bhavet. Tatra hetavaha sangrihyante. First one, adyantavatvat. Sushupto layat jagradado utpattescha. Sushupto laya. In the sushupti sleep, it is laya. That's why it's called lying down. Then jagradado utpattescha. And in the state of waking, what actually wakes up? Body doesn't wake up. Body is always awake. Does the body go to sleep? Do you wake up the body? In fact, other way around. When the mind wakes up, it recognizes the body is already awake. If somebody is sleeping only, you have to wake up. When the mind comes to identify with the body, Yeah, it is already there. I don't need to do anything. Once the mind becomes aware of the body, it feels the hunger, etc. Until then, the body is also what it is. Does the body has hunger? Does this body has hunger or not? Tricky question. When you say I am hungry, what is hungry? Mind knows the need for the body and its upkeep and the food that is needed for the body. Right? So even when you have gone without eating during the day night and slept, hunger is there or not? The feeling of hunger is not there. There is no food in the body. That is there. But feeling of hunger is a trigger that comes after waking up. So the body is not sleeping. Body is pretty much where it is. And even now it is not the same condition only. Body is in the same condition. What is waking up, what is going to sleep is the mind. Body is not going to sleep. It's a misunderstanding. Body is sleeping. Body is not sleeping. Mind is sleeping. Okay. So, Adi Antavatvat. So, Adi Antva Shunyaha Atma. Atman is Adi Rahitaha, Anta Api Rahitaha. So that's why Bhagavan Krishna says, Adyantavanta Kaunteya Nateshu Ramate Buddha. Everything else is Adi Antavantaha. Buddha Teshu Na Ramate. A man of wisdom does not feel entertained by that which is having beginning and end. So it includes Manasina Ramate Buddha, because Adi Antavantaha. He doesn't engage and enjoy what goes on in the mind, because this is also like the same only. Parinami Bhavat, of the nature of Parinama, transformation, change. Parinaminaha Bhavaha Parinama Bhavaha Vikaravatvam Kama Sankalpa Adi Atmana Parinamamanatvat Avikari Atma Nabhaviti. Similarly, body is also subject to constant change. Morning till the evening it changes. Day to day it changes. Year to year it changes. Constantly under change. Whereas avikari, Atman, the definition of Atman is avikari, not subject to change. So, the reason why mind is not the self, because Atma vikari, Atma avikari, Manaha vikari. Mind is constant change, Atman is not subject to change. Therefore, mind cannot be Atman. The second important thing is third important view. Second one. Okay. Third one. Dukkhatmakam. Dukkham atma swarupam yasya. Ateva nirudyate shodhyate cha. So, dukkhatmakam adhyasadvara sarva dukkha hedutvam upapaditam. Adaha ananda rupatma nabhavati. कोई भी दुख है वो अध्यास के कारण ही होगा. Whatever be the sorrow that we are experiencing, uska karan, what is the cause for that is not seeing what is, we are seeing something else. An object cannot cause unhappiness to any one of us. It's because we have given certain idea or notion about that object, and that object does not fulfill it. A person or an object or a situation, whatever it be. So that particular object is not fulfilling what we want. That is dukkham. If you expect your body to be always healthy, you will be always in dukkham. Correct or not? And people also. This person's company, I like this so much. I want to be with that person all the time. Go near, you'll get to come. Distance is better. Because you have the notion and keep it in your mind. If you go near, you'll be in trouble. What to do? Dukkatmakam dasya bhavat sattvam. So, ateva nirudyate shodhyate cha. That is the reason why we try to control the mind. Control the mind when it is an unhappy situation, we try to withdraw all that. Then that is the third case, third situation, third reason. Vishayatvam eva hetuhu. It is subject to be objectified, known. Anyatra mano abhuvam na adraksham anyatra mana abhuvam na ashrosham iti shrutehe Pragadanya Upanishad. So, anyatra mana abhuvam na ashrosham. I do not know that particular quote which is coming from. What is the meaning, in what context it is? We'll come back to that later. Sakshina vishayi kriyate iti vishayatva rupa hetoscha sarva sakshyatma nabhavati. So, here also, why my Atman or why mind is not Atman? Because Atma Sakshiya, Sakshina Vishayi Kriyate Mana. Mind is being witnessed. Therefore, Vishayatva Rupa Hetoscha Sarva Sakshyatma Nabhavati. Atma being the Sakshi, the witness, cannot be an object of some perception. So therefore, it is not possible to think that mind is Atman, Atman is only a Sakshi. Tadidamaha drishtahi ityadina. Hi yataha drishta pashyati iti drishta jnata. Yaha saha drishyatmataya vishayataya na drishtaha na lokasiddhaha. Pratyarthaha. Again, the point is drishta na drishyam bhavati katachit. The seer can never be an object of seen. See, why the logic is, if it is a Vishaya for something, the something is greater than this thing. Because it is under control of the perception. Meaning, so if it is an objectifiable thing, that means it has boundaries. What can be objectified? That is limited. Only limited can be seen. Unlimited cannot be seen. Unlimited, infinite cannot be seen. So if you say Atma Drishtaha, then obviously you are saying it is limited. Limited means what? Subject to birth and death, changes, beginning and end. So therefore, Atma Drishtaha na bhavati. It is only Drishta. This is the difference between Drishtaha and Drishta. One will change the whole thing. That's why Gurudev used to say, one little matra add, you change the meaning. Right? Drishtaha, drishta. Drishta atma, na drishta. Ataha sarvada manasthiti kale tad abhavecha sakshina sadbhava abhavayoho jnayamanataya kartu karma virodat Swadrishtasvasya swasmin viruddhatvacha drishyam manaha na drishtruswarupa atma iti anatmatvam tasya siddham. So therefore, the various reasons that are given here, manasthiti kale dat abhavecha sakshina, the one being Atman being one which is aware of the presence and absence of the mind, sadbhava abhavayoho jnayamanataya kartru karma virodat swadrishtatvasya sasmin viruddhatvacha. It is being of the nature of kartru and karma viroda. Kartru karma virodat. Kartru means the doer, karma means the action. So here, the mind is considered to be one which is subject to engage in action, subject to not, and also kartu karma virodhat. Kartru means the doer. The doer and the action cannot be the same. The doer engages in that action. And also swadrishtru swasya swasmin viruddhatvacha. So it is a different, it is because it is a mind also not self-knowing. If it is self-knowing, now the argument that can be there is, it cannot know its own absence, obviously. So when, during the time of sleep, its absence, it is not to the mind, known to the mind itself. That means the absence of the mind is known to somebody else. Then only we can understand there is something else which knows the absence. So, swadrishtutvasya swasmin viruddhatvacha drishyam manaha na drishtu swarupa atma. This way, atma na manaha, manaha na atma. So, manomaya kosha na atma bhavati. Now, vijnanamaya kosha is taken. That is the next topic. Buddhir buddhindriyai sardam savritti kartru lakshanaha vijnanamaya kosha syat pumsa samsara karanam buddhir buddhindriyai sardam savritti kartru lakshanaha vijnanamaya kosha syat pumsa samsara karanam. As we all know, antakarana is only one. It is divided into four, according to the quality of the thoughts or the nature of thoughts. When it is doubt, it is mind. When it is firm, it is buddhi. When it is reference to memory, it is chittam. When it is abhimana nature, identifying nature, is called ahankara. They are not four different things, four different functions of the antakarana, or we can say four different fields of experiences. So that is the reason why we have to recognize that all of them are essentially vritti rupam only, of the nature of thoughts. Okay. What is vijnanamaya kosha? Buddhihi, intellect. Buddhindriyai sardam, along with the jnanendriyas. Savrittihi, because it is along with thoughts, kartru lakshanaha, of the nature of a actor, doer, in the form of thoughts. It is not a physically doing something, but savrittihi kartru lakshana, in the form of a thought. It is having the function of thinking. That is the action of the intellect.
Here I have karma lakshana, the same.
Kartra lakshana is what is given in Gurudev's version. So we'll take that, because there can be different. Karma lakshana is given in the Bhashya of Shankaracharya. That is Sringeri version. Same. Karma lakshana, savritti karma lakshana. And vijnanamaya kosha syat, this is known as vijnanamaya kosha. And pumsaha samsara karanam. It has the characteristics of transkarmani, which is the cause for karanam, for samsara. So here, now here continuing, why it is buddhi is including it as buddhindriyai sardam. Buddhindriyahi panchabhihi jnanendriyahi shrotradibihi sardam saha. All the five, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, these five are considered as jnanendriyas or buddhindriyas. Savrittihi, vrittya nischayatmikaya saha vartade, it is savrittihi. It is also thought only. Intellectual sheath is also made of thoughts, but nischayatmika vrittihi. It is of the nature of determination, decision, etc. Then kartru lakshanaha karma lakshanam jnana icha kriti matvam yasya sa kartru lakshanaha. He explains as kartru lakshana, cannot karma lakshana. What is the nature of this activity of buddhi? Jnana icha kriya. Jnana icha kriti matvam yasya sa. Desire, knowledge, and action in these three ways. Vijnanamo koshasta tat samyakaha koshaha bhavati. Tasya karyamaha pumsaha ityadina. Pumsaha atmanaha samsara karanam. It is the cause of the samsara. How? Sasamanas sannubho lokau anusancharati sadihi swapno bhutva dhyayati va lelayati iva. Upau lokau anusancharati. Saha. Upau lokau sancharati. In two words it engages. Jagrat tada swapne. In the swapna avastha, sadihi, swapnaha bhutva. The Atman, sadihi, along with the swapnaha bhutva, swapno bhutva. Dhyayati iva, lelayati iva. Iva is more important. Thinking as though, playing around as though, as I told, Iva is very important, both in Bible as well as in Vedanta. Atman and Iva. Atman and Iva. Iva is the Maya, because it appears to be. There it is Adam and Eve. That's all the difference. So Adam and Eve is become Atman and Iva here. So here, Lelayati Ityadi Shrudibhyaha Ekameva Antakaranam. Now he is explaining Ekameva Antakaranam. Even though we say Chaturvida Antakaranani, but actually only one Antakarana is there. What is that? Samshayatmaka Vrittimat Manaha. When it is in doubt, it is mind. Nischayatmaka Vrittimat Buddhihi. When it is clear, decisive, it is buddhi. So, in this way, and then he is not explaining chittam and ahankar, but that also to be understood that way. Tatra manasaha karanatvam buddhehi kartrutvam. In this context, we should understand the difference between buddhi and manaha. Buddhihi karta, manaha karanam. Mind is the doer. Mind is the instrument of action, while buddhi is the actor. Decision is taken by the buddhi. Gurudev used to call it as the boss and the manager. Managers do not take decisions without the consultation of the boss. At the reception desk, there is a receptionist, and she cannot again make decisions. She only receives who has come, for what purpose they have come, and all they will ask. Then it will pass on to the manager. The manager then, based upon the purpose of the visit, knowing this and the availability of the boss, then he will go to that, hey, so-and-so has come to meet you. So, in the same way, Indriya sense organs are reporting agents. It's cold, it is hot, or it is bright, it is dark, it is... So, objects are perceived. Mind decides, mind thinks about it. What should be done at this situation? And then it refers to the buddhi based upon its knowledge available. Then what should be my response? So then he executes based upon the decision by the buddhi. So therefore, buddhihi karta manaha karanam. So that is what is explained here. Nischitya hi karoti. Usually an action is based upon decision. So nischitya karoti. Tasmat karta is buddhihi, karanam is manaha. Ata purva paribhava batvena mano buddhyoho Bahirantirbhavaha iti manomaya anantaram buddhi atmaka vijnanamayasya parthakyena katanam. So if you want to literally spatially look at it, mind is out, buddhi is inside. Meaning, buddhi is behind and within. Within in the sense, not controlled by the mind. Within means the subtle aspect. The subtler part of the vritti is buddhi. Comparatively, the grosser part is the mind. So, bahihi antarbhavaha iti manomaya anantaram buddhyatmaka vijnanamayasya parthakyena. Parthakyena as a different one, it has been established that buddhyatmaka vijnanamayasya parthakyena kathanam manomayanantaram. No chet panchanam jnanendriyanam upayatra avishishtatvat vedana apatteriti yochyam. See, bodhyam. Now you see why it is said that is mind also uses the senses, intellect also uses the senses. So which one do the senses belong to them? So decisively, when the mind, the intellect decisively takes a stand, it is a mind which is based upon that using the jnanendriyas. So jnanendriya is shared by both of them. When decision is taken, it uses the sense organs for that purpose. When the decision is not clear, mind itself takes a stand, then it uses the jnanendriyas. So when in confusion also we use eyes, ears, nose, tongue. When in decision also we use mind and the sense organs. So that way. Upayatra avishishtatvat. So therefore it is in Taittiriya Upanishad say tasmat va ye tasman manomayat anyontara atma vijnanamayah. It is said that tasmat va ye tasmat, due to this reason, manomayat anyontara atma vijnanamaya. In that Taittiriya Upanishad very discussion, annamaya and then what you call annamaya and anyontara atma pranamaya and pranamayasya anyontara atma manomaya manasah anyontara atma buddhi buddhehe anyontara atma anandamaya anandamayasya anyontara atma paramatma, the self. So that is how it is explained there. Tatra api evam eva apiprayah. So now, what makes the intellect? Let us understand the characteristic of the intellect. Anuvrajachit pradibimba shakti vijnana samya prakritir vikaraha jnana kriyavan ahamityajasram dehendriyadishvabhimanyate brisham. Anuvrajachit pradibimba shakti vijnana samya prakritir vikaraha jnana kriyavan ahamityajasram dehendriyadishvabhimanyate brisham. So what is this buddhindriya? Buddhi kosha, buddhimaya kosha, or vijnanamaya kosha? Anuvrajat chit pradibimba shakti. Anuvrajat. Vraj means vrajati, means to proceed. So vrajati is to proceed. Anuvrajati is to follow. Anu is also always said as in accordance with following. Anuvrajati. Anuvrajat. What is that it is following? Or what is it is accompanying? Chit pradibimba shakti. that which is closely following the reflection of consciousness, accompanied by the reflection of the light of Chit, consciousness, known as Vijnana Maya Kosha, Vijnana Samyaha, Vijnana Namaha. The name is known as Vijnanam. And it is, what it is? Prakritehe Vikaraha. Prakritehe Mayayaha Vikaraha. It is none other than a variation of Prakriti, modification of Prakriti. Prakritehe Vikaraha. And what is its function? Jnana Kriyavan. Jnanameva tasya kriya. We have seen what is the action that it does? Not the prana. It is not digesting food. It is not breathing. It is not doing any of those functions. Because bodily functions is not buddhi's function. It is only directing them to do. So similarly, emoting is not the nature of a buddhi. That is the function of the mind. And inhalation, exhalation, prana kriya. That is pranamaya kosha. What is the Vijnanamaya kosha does? Jnana kriyavan. It is the abode where the function of knowing takes place. There will be discussion on that point. Please be aware of this. Jnana kriyavan. It's endowed with the function of knowledge. And ajasram. Ajasram. Always, sada, aharnisham. Always. Dehendriya dishu. Deha scha indriya scha. Dehendriya adi. In the deha, body, sense organs, and all of them, aham iti. Manyate, abhimanyate. Aham iti ajasram deha indriyadishu abhimanyate. It is always having the continuous identification with the body, senses, etc., the notion of I am. Brisham. Brisham means continuously, completely. That ajasram and brisham. Ajasram always, brisham means complete. Fully. Totally. So, abhimanyate, abhimanam karoti. This is the nature of this Vijnanamaya kosha. Bhuta panchaka sattva samashti karyatvat. Bhuta panchakam sattva samashti karyatvat. What is buddhi? Buddhi, like manaha also, antakaranani, are the sattvic aspect of the samashti panchabodhas. Unlike sense organs which are coming from individuals, sattvic nature, rajasic nature, tamasic nature. From the sattvic nature of panchabhutas, collectively is antakarana. The sattvic nature of panchabhutas, individually is jnanendriyas. The rajasic aspect of the panchabhutas, individually are the karmendriyas. And tamasic nature of panchabhutas, individually is the vishayas. Vishaya means that vishaya for seeing, that vishaya for hearing, that vishaya for tasting, smelling, touching. These are all tamasic nature of the panchabhutas. The rajasic nature of the panchabhutas, individually created karmendriyas. Sattvic nature of panchabhutas, individually created jnanendriyas. Samashti sattvic nature of panchabhuta created antakarana. Right. So therefore, it is bhuta panchaka sattva samashti karyatva buddhehe swachhataya tatra chit avashyam pradibimbate iti anuvrajat. Anuvrjan. So that is the reason why, because it is being the sattvic nature of Panchabhutas, sattvic means pure. Being the pure, therefore, it becomes a reflecting media of this consciousness. The reflecting media of consciousness cannot but be pure. Sattva alone can reflect. Not Rajas, not Tamas. Rajas is movement, Tamas is darkness. In movement also reflection cannot be clear. In that which is filled with dirt, Tamas here means there is no activity as well as there is no purity. So in a muddy water, there is no reflection. In a moving water, there is no reflection. Still and clean water alone, there will be reflection. So Chit Pradibimba takes place only in that Sattvic Amsha of the Panchabhutas, which is Antakarana. So therefore it is called Anuvrajat. Anuvrajat Chit Pradibimba Anuvrajat. Ya Chittehe Chitrupasya Paramatmanaha Pradibimba Jivaha. Chidabhasaha Jivaha. We have seen in Panchadashi also. What is Chidabhasa? Is also Aham Vrittihi or Jiva, Jivatma, or otherwise known as Ahankara. All these are all synonyms. Tasya Shaktihi Bhasakatva Rupa Yasya. Bhasakatva Rupa of the nature of reflection, nature of illumination. Bhasaka Pradibimbasyapi Bhasakatvat. Even the reflection is also subject to illumination. Isn't it? Why a mirror is capable of brightening up the dark areas of a room. Even the reflection can act as illuminator. Not only sunlight is an illuminator, the reflection is also an illuminator. Pradibimba also gets that power. This reflector is also a illuminator, Bhasakatva. Prasiddham hi loke darpanadi. In this, very well known in this world, Vividha Surya Pradibimbasyapi Surya Praveshayo Yogya Andakara Vritta Bhu Viva Vritta Bhu Vivaradi Gata Vastu Bhasakatvam iti. Just like Surya Prakasha can remove the darkness and illuminate, whatever is there to be visible, so too the Pradibimba also is capable of illuminating objects which are in darkness. It is both a problem as well as a curse. Blessing and a curse. Blessing because of which jnanam takes place. Curse because it thinks it is its own. It is like, many people say, if you are giving a responsibility, you must give power also. Power and responsibility go together. If I give you a responsibility, but I don't give you the power to execute it, then how will you do your work? If you are given a particular task to accomplish, then you must be given the authority to do that also. Authority is with me, but you do the work. And then they will say that, why am I there then? You should take the decision on your own. Similarly, Buddhi is given the power, reflection. So it does that work of knowing things. But the problem lies is what? I am the doer. It becomes a powerful one and it derives its original source. That is Ahankara. All right. So, Ataha eva vijnana samyaha vijnanam iti sanya yasya saha vijnanam yagyam tanute iti shrutehe. Again, it is given in Taittiriya Upanishad as well as that is why it is called Vijnana Maya Kosha. Because it is capable of knowing. That is the only function. Illumination here means ability to know. Not illumination does not mean physical light here. Physical light is not what is, because the example of sun and the mirror, etc., to show the light. But here light means knowledge. So the Chidatma Rupa, Chit Paramatma is of the nature of consciousness, all-knowing, and that all-knowing principle is reflected in this buddhi. Therefore, it is also capable of knowing. So that is why it is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Okay. But Prakridehe, Mola Prakridehe, Avidyayaha Vikaraha. But it is again not anything other than a variation of Prakriti. Prakridehe Vikaraha. From the verse it is said, Prakridehe Vikaraha. Sukshma Buddha Panchaka Sattva Samashti Karyatvat. First reason is, as we have seen earlier also, Prakritehe Vikaraha means it is the Samashti Sattva of the Panchabhutas. That is one reason. Sukshma Buddha Panchakasya Avidya Karyataya Paramparaya Avidya Karyatvam Asya Koshasya. Avidya Karyaha Asya Koshaha. This particular kosha is nothing but an effect of avidya. Because Anandamaya kosha is Buddhehe Anyontara Anandamaya. There is coming up. So Anandamaya means what? Avidyamaya. So avidya is Atma of Buddhi. Atma of Buddhi. Just like Annamaya Koshasya Atma Pranamaya. Pranamaya Koshasya Atma Manomaya. Manomaya Koshasya Atma Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamayasya Atma Anandamaya. Ajnanamaya. So therefore, Ajnanam is the Karanam and Buddhi is Karya. So therefore here, it is said Avidya Karyatvam Asya Koshasya. All right. Now, continuing, Jnana Kriyavan. Jnanam cha Vrityatmakam Kriya. Jnana kaisa hota hai? Jnana Kriya Vritti Kriya Rupena. See, when I move the object from here to there, it's also a Kriya. Right? An action. An action is doing, and I'm doing that. Object from point A to point B, I'm moving. So in this very action, this is done by my karma indriya, and my hand is doing that action. Because it can do only that. What else it can do? It cannot see, hear, taste, smell, touch, nothing. It doesn't have that. Or it cannot walk. Hand is not meant for walking. It cannot speak. It cannot reproduce. It cannot act as an anus to reject. It has only one function. Move. Or grab, hold, pull, all those. So, in the same way, every Indriya is given a field of activity, and that is its Kriya. In the case of Karma Indriya, you can see it. Externally, you see it. My hand moving, doing things. So too, speech, etc. In similar way, eyes have their particular field of action, and it does that. Now, when it comes to Buddhi, the Kriya is thought. So it is also a Kriya, an activity. We don't understand Manovritti, thought, movement is also an action. So mind also has the movement of thoughts, but it is about known things. But Buddhi enters into the area unknown. This is why it is subtler than the mind. When it is a known field of Vritti, it is called Manaha. That's why Manaha is associated with Chittam. It is already what is known, it repeats. Because Chittam is memory. It only goes into the field of memory. Whereas Buddhi can enter into the field of unknown. It can create its own. That's why artificial intelligence. The intelligence is not like program. See, earlier also we are using computers. It's about what is fed into it. It can only work on that. But now what has come into the possibility is it can imagine things. It can think about possibilities. It can combine A to B and create C, which is not possible earlier. Earlier, it was only working on given information. Now it can create information. Out of A and B, I can create C, and C will look different from A and B. It's a combination of A and B. Or it can go to the next step of creating a possibility. This is why it becomes a little dangerous, as well as it is fascinating. How does it think? You cannot comprehend. Human mind cannot think in the way it thinks. Because our limitation is that information available is limited. So given information alone, we can think, and then little extra, we can just step outside that, out of the box. Totally new. But artificial intelligence is capable of creating things out of vast amount of information, which human mind cannot handle as of now. And therefore, the possibilities that it can project is also vast, which human mind cannot even comprehend. That is where the threat is. It not only can create the possibility, think about the possibility, it starts acting on that. Then what happens? Anyway, so this is what is given here. Jnana kriyavan. Jnanam cha vrityatmakam kriya cha vishaya vichara dhyana lokantara gamanadi rupa. Lokantara gamanadi rupa. It can go to lokas which has not been there, which has not been gone. Lokantara means what is perceived is loka. Lokantara means what is not perceived. What is not experienced so far. What is not in our recollection. What is not available in our memory. So, lokantara gamanadi rupa. Jnana kriyete asya stha iti jnanascha kriyascha. That's why jnana kriye. It is dual number. Jnanam, knowing. Kriya, engaging in that possibility. Thinking. Knowing and creating a vritti about it. So, jnana kriyete asya stha iti jnana kriyavan. Dehendriyadishu uktam hi purvam antakarana bhuteshu chaksharadishu vashmani aham iti abhimanena tishtyati abhasa tejasa iti. So, after having explained jnana kriyavan, he goes to the next word, aham iti ajasram. Every word is, one by one he picks up. Ajaham iti. What is this aham iti ajasram? Aham iti, what is it? Aham iti abhimanena deha indriyadishu uktam hi purvam antakarana vedeshu chakshuradishu vashmani aham iti abhimanena tishtati. It is that which is abiding or staying with the notion of aham with respect to body, senses, etc. This buddhi. That's why buddhi is associated with ahankar. Mind is associated with memory. So mind, as I said, will work under within the scope of the memory. Whereas buddhi, it takes the help of mind, of course, to make decisions, but it can strongly identify with rest of the entire koshas. And there it has the notion of this is me, this is me. Aham iti abhimanena tishtati abhasa tejasa, by the reflection of consciousness. iti. Ataha jivasya abhimaninayo abhimanah dehado tasya buddhim vina asambhavat. Dehado abhimanah buddhim vina asambhavat. In the body, etc., abhimanah, aham iti abhimanah, buddhehe vina asambhavat. Without the buddhi, it is not possible. Now, I have given you an example of how the heat travels from the fire to the vessel, to the water, and to the rice to cook. Right? There is a transfer of heat taking place. In the same way, abhimana takes place not gradually, straight. Meaning straight means it is able to identify with manaha, pranaha, deha, or the deha indriyas, and vishayas. It is able to continuously have connection. Ajasram, that's why I say ajasram, always. Jivatva syapi buddhi upadi nibandanatvat ayam koshaha eva adhyasika tadatmya apannataya jiva abhinnatvena vivakshite iti ajasram sarvada jagrat swapnayoho brisham atyantam ahamiti abhimanyate. Buddhi upadi nibandanatvat, because being conditioned by the buddhi, ayam koshaha eva, this very kosha alone is adhyasika tadatmya apannataya, with the nature of its being one which is projecting the notion of I in all of them. Jiva abhinnatvena vivakshite iti ajasram. This is what is referred, this aham is what is referred as jiva. This ahankara is what is referred as jiva. Jiva means what? Jivati iti jiva, alive. The alive is possible only when there is identification. The body, as the other day I was telling you, so you are traveling in a flight and a person next to you and talking to you, all that, right? And he slowly takes to deep sleep, so he is just on your shoulder. So you allow it, poor fellow is sleeping. Only to know that after that, sometime he's dead. So, but now tell me, will you be happy? Chalo. After knowing that he's dead, will you allow that dead body to be on your shoulder? So long as you don't know that he's dead, is good for you. When he weighs very heavy, slowly, why is he weighing so heavily? Just you move, bloom. So now you see, whether he is alive or not, how do you know? Because the jivatva is expressed in the form of bodily heat. Prana is going back and forth, or is, let us say, snoring. Then he's alive. Better snore, otherwise I would not know. It's better that people snore, otherwise I wouldn't know. Like snoring, sneezing in between, moving about the body. So the jivatva is what? Abhiman only. Deha abhimana is there. And from Deha abhimana, it is prana abhimana, mano abhimana, everything. So the jivatvam of the jiva is because of the abhimana. A bodiless spirit is not jiva. It's not called jiva. It's preta. Preta means gone, finished, over, departed. So here, jiva abhinnatvena vivakshite iti ajasram sarvada jagrat swapnayoho. In both the jagrat avasthayam cha swapna avasthayam. in both the state of waking and dream, brisham, atyantam, completely, aham iti abhimanyate. It is considered, it is experienced as aham, it's known as aham. Aham manushyaha, stulaha, gacchami, tishtami, langayami, jumping. Aham pashyami, aham shrunomi, aham uchravasimi, nishvasimi iti adi prakarena tadatmya abhimanavan bhavati iti jnanavatvam upabhatitam. So because I know, I'm thinking, I'm walking, I'm going, I'm jumping. So it's all our known actions only. It's not you are not doing without knowing. So actions, jnanam, kriya happens out of jnana vritti. Therefore, it is called jnanavan. This is the nature of Vijnanamaya Kosha. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.